Hi, happy Sunday and welcome to Let's Talk About You. Happy International Women's Month. Happy VI History Month. It is always an honor and privilege to have you here with us. I am Kamala Francis, your host, and this beautiful Sunday afternoon, we have the women of WICCI. What's WICCI, you ask? Women Indian Chamber of Commerce Industry. I have the honor and privilege of having Miss Cristal Legrand from the beautiful island of St. Martin to come share some new happenings of what's going on with WICCI and what they do. Cristal, welcome,
Hello,
welcome.
hello.
Let's talk about you, Miss Cristal.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are things over there in St. Martin today?
It has been really nice weather, actually. Kind of sleep in weather, but yes, we are here. It is raining and sunshine, but it's all good. So it's nice and cool on my end of the world.
Well, that's good. You have a nice radiant smile, so there's sunshine definitely. So we're
Yes,
here to talk about the Women of WICCI, which is Women Indian Industry and Chamber of Commerce. And it is always an honor to just talk about women because, who run the world? We women. We run the
absolutely.
world. And it's good to know that we have a whole month, well, every 365 days a year, but it's nice to have a month to celebrate us, those before us, and those with us now, and those to come. And
Yes,
this year,
absolutely.
we have WICCI US Virgin Islands, going to be doing great things. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what WICCI is, and you're going to talk about what's going on with WICCI, what they're going to be doing this month. So WICCI is a joint collective effort with women throughout the world, and this industry started in India. And it had trickled down throughout the Caribbean. And our president is Dr. Anita Defoe, who is also an ambassador. And Dr. Defoe, along with the other women of WICCI, we come together to empower, to educate, to enhance, to let women know what their voice matters, see what's going on in their community, lend a helping hand, um, activism, everything that your environment needs, not just for the women, not just for the children, but for the community on a whole. And imagine this started in India, and we're all here in the Caribbean. And WICCI USVI comprises of St. Thomas Virgin Islands, St. Croix, St. John, Antigua, St. Martin, Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, Anguilla, Tortola, the United States. I'm going to keep calling islands, and I don't want to leave anyone out. So I'm just going to say the Caribbean on a whole, and our sisters there in the United States, as well as some of our sisters in India as well. So this year, as we celebrate International Women's Month or Women's History Month, the women of WICCI are celebrating their own. At least they're getting ready to. And Crystal is going to tell us about the upcoming activities that WICCI USVI will be partaking in. Tell us some more, Crystal.
Happy to. So this year, actually let's back up. Let's talk about
Okay.
last year. We
Okay.
we actually started off this initiative through the wiki that we're both involved in last year, honoring, several women across the Caribbean, highlighting them as women of excellence, using this month as an opportunity then to showcase women, showcase what they're doing and the great work that they're doing in their communities. So, I mean, like we say in the Caribbean, if it's nice, you have to do it twice. So we we definitely are excited to have a repeat of this event. And this year, we're actually collaborating with another one of our organizations, our global organizations called the G100. And so together, we have come together to put together a summit. So we're gathering all women then internationally across the world to come and join us at the summit and share information or hear information from panelists about our topic this year for International Women's Day about breaking the bias. So we'll
Okay.
have a panel discussion from some excellent women around the world initially, and then we'll be honoring some women of excellence across the world. We are actually in nomination phase. Names are coming in right now, and we are sending out congratulations to the women that have been nominated for this auspicious award. And then we will be telling the world who these women are on the 19th of March.
Okay. So as you said, let's go back a little bit. So
Yeah.
last year, this activity happened March 8th, if I'm not mistaken. And that Saturday, I remember it. I was the host. And it was truly just a magnificent event. It was infectious. It was empowering. It was great that we had women that were celebrated throughout the Caribbean and the United States. Not only that, it's just the camaraderie, the sisterhood, and we celebrated one another, and it was just such a glorious event because not only were these ladies celebrated, we learned about what they do, different organizations within the organization, and it gave us an avenue to network and collaborate. And that's one of the many things that WICCI does. We collaborate, we network, because I may have one organization, Crystal has another organization, and we come together to create something great. And you talked about G100. Tell us a little bit more about what G100 does
Well,
and
the
what is.
G, yeah. So the G100 was initiated by the same organization, the same global organization as WICCI. And there are several chapters across the world that focus on different sectors. So when you think of entrepreneurship or youth and or science and all these different industries, there are chapters for each one. For this event, we are collaborating with the Young Leadership and Enterprise Wing. So it is led by our leader of this both organizations, so both the WICCI and the G100 Young Leaders and Entrepreneurship Wing is led by Dr. Defoe. So
Mhm.
I would like to just thank Dr. Defoe as well for, initiating these types of collaborations that you mentioned. So the G100, the Young Leaders, it's Young Leaders and Enterprise Wing to be exact. And we are focused on stimulating, young people in leadership, stimulating young people in entrepreneurship and enterprise. There are women from across the world that are involved in this organization, women from, Africa, Europe, the Caribbean, the US, Asia, and further, just coming together to have discussions about how we can impact our youth more effectively, how we can collaborate, as you mentioned. Because sometimes as women, we operate sometimes in our own world and we think that, we're on an island by ourselves, but there are women around the world that are willing to band together and do great initiatives and have great impact. So yes, so our focus is really on that, collaborating on our topic of youth and, seeing what we can create together.
And that our youth is always a hot topic because we have to definitely build that bridge and open that door for them because they're our future. So we have to try to make things as easy or adaptive for them as possible. But with this technology age and these women being from so many different places, does it make it difficult to be a part of such a huge organization?
That's so true. And I think if we were a few years back when, technology wasn't taking over, then maybe yes. But fortunately, even post pandemic, we can think about how much our lives are so intertwined with technology now. It's almost impossible to live, exist, and do business if you're not, on this tech space as we're using right now. I mean, we're
Yes.
in different countries, but we're still in the same space and we can share space using technology. And so technology has been a a bridge, then, if you will, to connecting women across the world. And we've been using that as a tool to connect us, to collaborate. And that even allows us to expand our resources and our reach. So when you think about technology being able to connect persons internationally, you're not then limited to your space or your community. You can reach out globally to persons that you may need as a resource for your endeavors, for your initiatives, anything that you need to do. Yeah.
And it does save on airfare.
It does. Come on now with the airfare. Absolutely, because now we can fly globally across time zones without having to pack any bags or anything. That's it's fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then last year, with the event of honoring these magnificent women and paying tribute to them, we had women from all over, because as you mentioned, we have members in Africa. Well, they're members in the WICCI organization from Africa.
Hmm.
And we had persons from India. So that's all in a different time zone. And yet we were able to come together in one accord. Now, this year, will there be at a specific venue, or we're doing the technical venue as well?
Oh, we're
Technology venue.
definitely taking on the technical space. We're utilizing our tech and our gadgets because, interesting enough, as part of the organizing committee, I'm in the Caribbean, so then I'm here. But our hostess for the evening, she's from South Africa, and so that's Dr. Yolanda, and so. Of course, just having the two of us being the tech side combined with the hostess, we can do this across spaces. So yes, and along with everyone else that will be involved in the event in itself, yeah, we're definitely going to do it virtual. We will be streaming the event live on our Facebook pages, as we're doing like this show. Yeah.
Okay, so tell our listening audience, for those that may be intrigued, to let me tune in to see what these women are talking about this weekend paying tribute. How can they log on March 19th, and what time will this event take place?
Absolutely. So the event will be taking place on March 9th at 11 a.m. AST time. So I have to make that very clear because now we're speaking global. So AST time at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we will be streaming on two platforms. So that is the two collaborating platforms are the wiki. So it's WICCI slash USVI. So if you search for WICCI USVI, you'll find it on Facebook. And then you'll also be streaming on the G100 platform. So it's the G100 Youth Leadership and Enterprise Wing. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So, in addition, tell us about your agenda. Do you have your agenda set? We're just honoring women and then we're going home, but tell us of all the intricate things, because I know that you're a planner and a doer. So, I
Yes.
need to hear all the intricate details, and I need our listening audience to be intrigued so they too can tune in on March 19th.
Absolutely. So the agenda will be surrounded around the topic of break the bias. And so we're very much honoring and, contributing to the discussion of break the bias within our global context with our organizers. So our agenda is very focused on that. On the agenda will be a panel discussion. So we're having women from across several sectors discuss, what their experiences are with gender bias, how they've dealt with it, and also how do we break biases without creating more bias. And that's something that I actually, had to think about when we were thinking about, what we're going to be discussing. This was one that stuck out to me personally because oftentimes, and if I just kind of deviate for a second from the agenda, but
Please.
oftentimes when we have discussions about whatever bias that we're addressing, that absolutely needs its attention. So any bias that you can think about, but how do we do so in a safe way where we don't create more biases? So yes, we're pro women, but we're not saying no men, because then
Exactly.
they still have a role in our lives. So
Right.
how do we break biases without creating more bias?
I love that.
And
I love
yeah.
that.
So that will be part of our discussions. We'll also have a keynote speaker, and coming from the Caribbean, we definitely couldn't host an event without entertainment. The lifeblood of our culture. We do want to have some poetry renditions. We have some young persons putting together some poetry renditions. We also have music. We have poetry coming from all the way from South Africa, and then
Wow.
some coming from the Caribbean. So we will see a global mix of information. We will see a global mix of entertainment, and we will have a cross cultural then discussion around baking the bias. Yeah.
That is wonderful. That does sound exciting with the entertainment and the topic and a whole on the panel. For that panel discussion, how
Mhm.
long will that discussion be within? Because I know the program in itself is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Atlantic Standard Time. But how
Yes.
long will that panel discussion be?
So when you put women together, having us stay on time will be important. So let's just say that we are hopeful that we can keep the discussion within 30 minutes or less, even. The event itself is kind of broken up into segments. And so we do have the panel discussion for 30 minutes, and we do have the keynote speaker for also about 20 to 30 minutes, and then in between we'll have entertainment. So we do have a span of a 2-hour event, while also allowing us time to honor the women and really
Right.
highlight the women across the world that we will be celebrating on that day and awarding the Woman of Excellence awards. So yeah, we will break it up while also trying to have a a well-rounded conversation within time.
Well, I'm sure you
Yes,
will. And with you,
absolutely.
Crystal, because I know you said you're on the organization team for this event, but you're the queen techie. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yes.
Because being in front of the screen is one thing, but being behind the screen and knowing which button to press, how to put the next person on, the editing, what exactly is your organization, Crystal? And tell our listening audience how important and imperative your role is. As you just
Right.
say that, oh, I'm just no. She is the root, the key, the seed that was planted to create the event. What is your
Yes.
tell us, please? We need you.
Well, here we go. So, I think more so when you come into a space to serve, you serve in the way that you can serve best. And
Yeah.
so the natural fit was to be on the tech side, because then I have some work that I've done in the past with live broadcasting. I've done this work, even though I don't formally own a business that does broadcasting or any of the tech work per se. But when you have a skill, you share that skill and you allow it to be a benefit to the people that you're working with. So in this space or in these organizations, then yes, I do manage the tech side. So for the event, you may not see my face. Luckily, you get to see me now, but for
Yes.
that day, I will be behind the scenes and running the production side of the event. But we will have very, very able, excellent women who are from the organization who will be handling all the, speaking and hosting and panel discussions. I'm very happy to step into the background because I actually do like being in the background more so. Yes.
Well, and you said a key thing there, and that is the staple of WICCI, the WICCI organization, being able to serve,
Right.
because it's a collective body of women that not only want to serve within this organization, but they serve their community right now in the businesses and the different fields that they are part of. They're serving, and they're even if they turn their nonprofits into now a profitable business, it's all started and the backbone of it is service.
Yeah.
So you wear that hat well. And I
Thank
am
you.
glad that we're able to see a beautiful face today, because I know on March 19th you'll be behind the screen and everything is going to be flawless. But as you
Yes.
said about being given service, and we know that that's what WICCI is about, and a member of your community in St. Martin, tell us about how you serve your community in St. Martin.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. So in St. Martin, focused one of the things that I do in service way. So outside of my business work, then I've run the say, Entrepreneurship World Cup, and I did that so last year as well in collaboration with the Global Entrepreneurship Network Caribbean, that's led up by Dr. Marcia Brandon. And what we were able to accomplish then together was to encouraged 17 islands from across the Caribbean to compete at this international competition. And so the Entrepreneurship World Cup, in fact, was the first time that the Caribbean region had such a huge participation, because most of the time when it comes to entrepreneurship development, capacity building, any of these things in the Caribbean region, though there are some fantastic persons pioneering this industry and really pushing for us to have more capacity building available, sometimes in our individual smaller islands, we're just kind of left out of the scenario. So in St. Martin, I am the national host then for the Entrepreneurship World Cup. And then within the Caribbean kind of context, I am the chief implementation manager to help more participation from across the Caribbean, to have more countries involved. And this year, we're definitely looking forward to have all 26 Caribbean islands in this competition, which will be launching, in fact, in April. So next month, the open calls for entrepreneurs to apply to this pitch competition. And this is a really important one because there's so much opportunity available through the Entrepreneurship World Cup. There's capacity building. There's the prizes are up to $1 million. So we're not just talking like what we can do in our individual countries, but what the platform, first of all, has 200 countries participating from across the globe. And then on top of that, you have these great speakers that train you. You have all these opportunities to network with other fellow entrepreneurs across the world. And in fact, this month, and so much people may not know this, but this month I am headed out to Saudi Arabia at the end of the month to go to the Global Entrepreneurship Congress to have further dialogue about how we have more participation of the Caribbean region. So I am representing Dr. Brandon at the end of the month at the Global Entrepreneurship Congress in Saudi
Congratulations.
Arabia. So yes, I am headed out around somewhere in the mid 20 something of March. So yes,
You need an escort,
it's
an
nervous.
assistant, someone to roll
I
your bag.
know. I will definitely pack a few people in my suitcase. I've heard that several times now. So if they stop us on the border in Saudi Arabia, then it's not my fault. But yes,
So tell
yes,
us
no,
more about what
yeah.
does it entail to be a part of the global initiative.
Yeah, so to sign up to be in the competition itself. So if you are an entrepreneur with a fantastic idea and you want to, whether it is just to learn and participate, we're very much encouraging entrepreneurs to participate at least so that you can actually, touch it, feel it, get engaged in it, so that in the years to come we can have more and more entrepreneurs be involved.
Is
So you
any
can
type
go
of
to
business whatsoever, or is it a specific
any
field?
type of business, any age. So if we're talking about not having biases, the Entrepreneurship World Cup is the most non-biased competition globally. So yes, there is. Yes, you can be any age. Once you're 18 or older. So I should maybe not any age, but once you're of legal age, then, and then once you have a business or you have a business idea that you want to work on and you want to present that business and pitch that business on a global stage, you have that opportunity to do so. Applications will open sometime in April. We don't have the exact dates yet. We will have those actually at the event in Saudi Arabia. We will have more information as to when applications will open. But when they do open, you can go to just entrepreneurshipworldcup.com and you can apply. Yeah.
And that too will be a online event.
Absolutely. So It on the how the event is set up is that you have national competition, so every Caribbean island or every country in fact around the world, so the US has their competition, China, Africa, I mean everywhere has their own national competitions, and then they select a winner to go and represent them in the global stage. So yes, so you have
Okay,
the
so
nationals and then you have
everyone
global.
has their inner intermediate competition before they go to the big stage.
Correct. So once you
Okay.
sign up, your national organizer will know that you've signed up in your country, and they will reach out to you and say, okay, the national competitions will be on XYZ date. They're usually sometime in May, June, July, go down that way. And then the global competition is towards the end of the year, usually in November. Yeah.
Okay.
And in between there's just all this capacity building, these instructors teaching you on how to pitch, how to build your business, things like that. So and they have fantastic perks as well from global organizations like Google. I mean, you name it. It's really a great opportunity to build capacity for yourself as an entrepreneur and also be able to network globally. So I would encourage entrepreneurs from everywhere to really sign up, find out more, and you can do so by going to entrepreneurshipworldcup.com. Yeah.
That does sound exciting. And
Yeah.
because it's an international thing, it's $1 million. What currency?
Yeah, in US dollars. So
Okay, that's what I needed to
and there is more, if there is so much more that happens with it. So there are perks that you get. So the perks would be in, let's say, Google AdSense and those type of things. So you get vouchers for different organizations, and then you have this competition where you can win. Depending on your country, you may have the opportunity to win prizes on the national level, but that's determined by every national organization. And
Okay.
then once you go on to the global competition, there are more perks in that level, and then you go up for the $1 million. So yes, absolutely.
That
Yeah.
sounds exciting.
It
Hmm.
is. It is. And if you want to see, what happened last year or the years before, you can also check the YouTube channel for the Entrepreneurship World Cup. There are all the pitch competitions that happened last year or recorded on the channel, so you can check those out. Yeah.
So it's all on the YouTube channel. So listening
Yeah.
audience, there's so many activities, so many opportunities out there. And a lot of them, such as this one, we don't always know about. So
Right.
here, there you have it. There's the World Cup for entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Let's network. What's the worst case scenario? You learn, you befriend someone from somewhere else and you learn a skill. You are enhance your business, you enhance your advertisement or your name or your brand. Sounds like a win-win to me.
Absolutely, I agree. There is definitely a win-win on either side. You can't go wrong. And if you do want to reach out to us personally, if you're in the Caribbean region, you can go to our Facebook page, which is the Entrepreneurship World Cup Caribbean, and we'll be happy to kind of walk you through some of the registration or any hesitations that you might have. We're here to help. Yeah,
That sounds great. And
yeah.
with these the persons that do the training, is it on a local level or after you pass that the World Cups provide someone to come in and train you? How does that part work?
So how it works is the global organization has these periodic workshops and different things, and those are digital, so you can watch them at any time. And then nationally, it just depends on which organization that is hosting the national event, and they do some capacity building on a national level. So there are opportunities on both sides. So there, depending on where you're from, then yes, the national organizations might have some in-person or virtual events that happen within your country. Yeah.
That sounds great. Ooh, okay, that's food for thought for me.
Yes, please do. Absolutely. Why not? Yeah.
And what else do you do, Crystal, in addition to that? Because that was more than a mouthful. That was the whole picture and running over. So, and I know you do
Right.
more things.
So, yes. How much time do we have? Do we have all afternoon? No, I'm just kidding. So, the one other main thing I do is my own business. So, I have Legrand Voyage. So, we are a destination management and marketing company. And what we do is we create experiences. That's really our main goal. We work with 5 destinations right now. And so, those are my home base, St. Martin,
Mhm.
St. Martin, Sebastacia, Anguilla, and St. Bart's. And what we did for the region is we created a experience called the SAS experience. And SAS
Ooh.
is an acronym then of, the 5 islands. So we've created a cruise like island hopping experience where you can hop in between these 5 islands and enjoy the multicultural, multi destination experience with our Dutch, French, and British influences. And I call it accented with our sassy Caribbean flair. Yeah.
Ooh. I like that. So
Yes.
you get to travel, is what you said? I mean, on a cruise?
So what you do is, so we work predominantly with groups. Our organization does, and what we do with the groups is we create itineraries just depending on the times that they're coming to the destination, and we create itineraries intersecting with St. Martin or Anguilla or St. Bart's, and then we create itineraries with those. Just really does depend on how much days you're coming to the destination. What's interesting about St. Martin and why this is possible within a good budget is because we have ferry services and small charter services and boats that go in between these islands naturally. So those things make the island hopping possible. Because when you think of island hopping in the Caribbean region, because of the high cost of aviation, persons may not be able to take a flight from St. Martin and go to even St. Thomas and then going to, let's say, Jamaica, for instance. If we were to do that, the price for the flights alone will be just really exuberant. But because in St. Martin, if you use St. Martin as a hub, you can definitely go to these other destinations that are all beautiful and all add their own charm to the vacation experience without having to take these expensive flights. And then, if you don't want to do the cruises because you're, hesitant to do cruises right now, then you still can do an island hopping experience just based here in St. Martin or based in Anguilla. Yeah.
And how long are the cruises?
So cruising usually is 8 days. So if you do 8 days with us, we can definitely connect you on all 5 islands. So every day in the morning, you hop on the ferry, you go over to the next island, you enjoy whatever highlights or activities you want to do. So if you want to go to Saba and hike the mountain, hike the volcano, sorry, and then come back in the afternoon, enjoy your night in St. Martin, and then the next day you wake up, you go and have lunch in Anguilla and enjoy the beautiful beach and come back. Then you can go to St. Bart's and go to the Shell Beach and do the historical tour. So every day you can wake up in a next destination. Yeah.
That sounds good. I'm ready.
Let's go. I would love to. And I've actually been reaching out to, let's say, coaches and different persons who want to create girls' trips, guy trips. So let's not forget the guys, even though it's Women's Month. Yes. But if you want to create a girls' trip or you want to create an event or a retreat, for you and your women, we've been so separated for such a long time
Yes.
during this COVID period. We can definitely find great opportunity to come together and enjoy a fantastic vacation. You couldn't go wrong with taking a break and taking some time for yourself. Yeah.
Has it been difficult because of COVID of persons wanting to take these cruises?
Well, so we're not exactly cruises, but what we are is these experiences.
Right,
So,
the
yeah,
experience.
right. So, in these experiences, it's the COVID protocols were challenging for everyone, and that we can't go without saying that. So, absolutely, we had to adhere to first human first. And so I would never want to be in a space where humans aren't the priority. We are people and we need to be safe. We need to be
Yes.
healthy. We need to do all the protocols that are necessary. So, of course, the tourism industry in general, absolutely, we suffered because everyone needed to take a break from traveling to now figure out how we can travel in a safe way.
Safely.
And so
Yes.
now that we've kind of learned what the things to do, the test to take, if you're going to get vaccinated, how you're going to travel, insurances, all these things have been discussed and figured out. And so now it's taking an upward trend. And I think if you restrict anyone from anything for too long, the demand for that thing increases and
Yes.
triples by the time
So
you say, okay, you can go now. So, think of it as a chocolate bar. Travel has now become like that chocolate bar that you couldn't eat for like 2 years. And now they said, okay, yes, you can go back and eat, and there's a safe way to do
so
it.
there's gonna be a
Now
lot of
everyone's kind of like, oh, yeah, I'm having that. Yes.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Yes.
And congratulations to everything that you do, your service, your time, your talent, because what you do, none of us, even at Wiki, take it for granted, and we truly appreciate you sharing your skills. And I want us to go back to talk a little bit more about um, the upcoming activities for International Women's Day celebration, because the whole month is International Women's History Month. The whole
Right.
month is Women's History Month, and we celebrate each and every one of us. So I'm celebrating you and everything that you do.
Thank
And
you.
we at Wiki right now are celebrating our fellow sisters and everything that they do and what they mean to their community or just an individual, for them being staples. So I know that we have the agenda all set forth, but for those of our listening audience that are just tuning in, can you give us a recap of what's going on with Wiki and what it is that we're planning and on what day?
Yes. So for the second year in a row, what we'll be doing is hosting our Women of Excellence Awards. This year, we're also combining that with like a Women of Excellence Summit. So we're calling all women of excellence from around the world to join us on this live broadcast to hear our women talk about breaking the bias. What's their experience with breaking the bias, how it has impacted them in their careers and in their lives, and then the discussion of how do we break biases without making more bias, so without causing more bias to men in our lives, without causing more bias to whatever it is. So once you break it, we don't want to recreate another bias that we will have to do another initiative to
Yeah.
kind of break again. So we'll be having panel discussions, we have a keynote speaker, we're going to have poetry as well as some music, all focused around this topic of breaking the bias. And so this event will be on March the 19th, as you mentioned, and it starts at 11 a.m. AST time, and it will be streaming live on the G100 Youth Leadership and Enterprise Wing, and as the WICCI USVI Facebook pages. So both Facebook pages will be live on those. Yeah.
And one thing that you mentioned about this phenomenal group, we will be our keynote speaker this year will be from South Africa. Do you have that person's
Yes.
name, or is it a
I
secret affair?
do. No, it's fine actually.
Okay.
So Dr. Yolanda Powell, she is from the G100. She does amazing work with youth and young women in South Africa, and she has agreed to be our hostess for the morning then, because now I keep saying evening because last year was in the evening, but
Yeah.
for this year we're doing it in the morning. And that decision was taken actually to be inclusive. So we want to make it so that persons on different time zones can still tune in live. So if you're in the South Africa, European area, then your time is later in the afternoon. And then if you're on EST or AST or PST time, it's earlier in the morning, but it's not super, super early. So we're right in the middle to be as inclusive as possible. But yes,
That's
Dr.
phenomenal.
Yolanda Powell from South Africa will be hosting the event this year.
Great. And the president of Wiki USVI is Dr. Anita Dufu, who is
Yeah.
currently traveling, and she is our international person on an international ambassador on so many levels. As Crystal mentioned before, she is not only the president of Wiki USVI, but of the G100 incentives. Correct?
Correct. So Dr. Defoe heads up both organizations.
Mhm.
So she is the chair lady of the G100 Youth Leadership and Enterprise Wing, and she's also the council chair then of the Wiki organization. And so we are very happy to have Dr. Defoe chair these both initiatives and gather women from across the Caribbean on the wiki and women from across the globe, in fact, on the G100 side. Yeah.
Yes, because she has done a great job with selecting these women, asking them to participate because she's networked in so many different areas, in so many places across the world, across the globe. I'm not quite sure exactly where she's traveling from right now, but she is
Right.
definitely our international traveler. And being a part when we first started WICCI USVI, she selected most of the women, and because of her collaboration, she was also able to network with Dr. Brandon and other persons that are part of WICCI USVI to ask, would you like to be a part of? And not only have we grown, we have had this kindred sisterhood, and it's just so great that we're right now just a WhatsApp away, and now
Great.
a video call away because of that one person's connection. So as we celebrate Women's History Month, we need to remember our neighbor, our sister that's next door, our sister, our co-worker, in addition to our blood sisters, because we learn so much from one another. Even if we learn from afar, just by looking at that person from afar, we can learn so much, and we can change the world. We're nurturers, we're the ones that bring life, we're caregivers. Just every role that we as women play
Yeah.
are so it's so valuable in more ways than one. No, I'm not saying that our men's role is not important, because we are inclusive. And
Right.
that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about on the panel discussion: changing the bias without creating more biases. And I really can't wait to hear that discussion, because that is one of value and substance, and that needs to be discussed without the stigma, without the um, any kind of, just to be a free, open, and free will conversation to hear persons' views to how we can make a change. And that's how it starts, with a
Yeah.
conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So as we celebrate these women of excellence, we're going to be having important conversations that affects everyone.
Yes.
And
I am looking forward to it.
me too, me too. So on the technical side of you being behind the scenes, I know that you telling me I probably won't remember or know what it is that you do or any of that, but I know last year you and Dara, I'm just going to be calling her out right now. You guys
Yes.
were definitely the rock and and the core to our event, because it took you guys what, 2 days to pull that whole thing together. Uh,
Pretty much. Yes. And when anything that you do for the first time, there's so many kinks and things that you kind of have to work out. I think this time around we're coming in a bit more like, we know what we're doing now. So
well,
we got to figure it
if
out.
you didn't know that there were kinks, you wouldn't
Right.
know that there were kinks. It was
Right.
afterwards we had the discussion, and you guys were like, "Okay, this needed to be done." I was like, "Really? Oh, okay." I guess I was just busy being too cute in front of the camera, so I had no idea what it is you ladies
Absolutely.
were going through behind the scenes and behind the camera. But I just want to say thank you so much for you and Daryl's work last year, and everyone that participated, and the core ladies that pulled it together last year. And I want to say congratulations to you and your core team to put this event together once again. And I know that you said, once is nice, you have to do it twice. But is this
Yes.
going to be an annual event?
We are definitely keeping this as a staple event of the WICCI organization. We're definitely looking forward to doing this annually. We think that it's always important to take some time and celebrate the women in your life. And we allow every member to then nominate a awardee that they would like to highlight in their own communities, or persons that they, are inspired by, just for us to have this opportunity then to say, we see you, we hear you, and your voice is valid.
Yes.
And so having that moment to have the just the opportunity to say, well, I nominated someone in my community because I'm involved in this great organization. I have that opportunity then to share the platform with another woman and to say, I salute you, you're doing a great job, continue to press forward. I think that is beautiful in and of itself. Yeah.
Yes, because everyone wants to be celebrated. And a lot of times when we do things and give service and give it of ourselves, we're not looking for the recognition, but it is always good to be seen. And it does make you feel good that someone appreciates what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So thank you, ladies of Wiki. Thank us, ladies of Wiki,
Yes.
for what all that we're doing, because I truly enjoy being a member of the WICCI USVI organization. It truly means a lot. And, even to get the word out of as we collaborate and do different things collectively, it's good to see the individual things that our sisters are doing and we let one another know what's going on. We have our Facebook page, we
Mhm.
have our website,
Yeah.
we have our WhatsApp in intimate chat that we do and how we get the word out of what's going on, and of course, regular email.
Yeah.
So it starts. Just create something, and it doesn't have to be a huge organization. It could be just you and someone else, or it can just be you, my
Right.
fellow sister. It all starts with you. Be the change that you want to see.
Absolutely.
That's what we do at Wiki.
Yes. Yes, I can see you starting to campaign for memberships just now. I'm
Yes,
looking
and we
forward to
are
the
accepting
campaign.
persons that are interested in participating in Wiki. So if you are, um, contact us on our Wiki Facebook page.
Mhm.
And Crystal, tell us more about the other pages that persons that are interested, ladies that are interested in being a part of Wiki, how can they be a part of?
Yeah, so if you go to our Facebook pages, so for Wiki, it's the WICCI USVI page, and send us a message there. Or if you're in the young leaders and entrepreneurship or enterprise side of, service or work that you do, then you can reach out to the G100. And so it's G100 Young Leaders and Enterprise Wing. And so there you can send us an inbox message, say, well, I'm interested in finding out more, and we'll definitely get back to you and give you
Yes.
further details about the organization in itself, what is required of you as a member, and further details on how to get involved. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to add before we wrap things up this evening?
Well, the invitation, or at least that call and summons to women to come to the summit and come and enjoy the opportunity to hear from different women from across the globe. We'll have some very great discussions about, the topics that we mentioned, and we'll be sharing and learning even some more about the Wiki organization, learning some more about the G100. We will have presentations on that as well, so you can have some insight into what these organizations are and what we do as an organization. So, and then the entertainment. So we definitely will have some moments for you to enjoy some poetry and some music as well. So I'm just inviting everyone to come on March the 19th at 11 a.m. AST. Yes. And then we'll be streaming live on the G100 Youth Leadership and Enterprise Wing and the Wiki USVI pages. Yeah,
Yeah, sometimes it becomes a tongue twister for me because I'm
it
like,
does.
Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce Industry. Yes, that's it.
That's the one.
And at the end of the day, you're gonna learn something.
Absolutely.
The Wiki and the G100 groups were about educating, and so everyone, even though you're a part of the panel, you're part of the entertainment, you're part of the behind the scenes group, we're all in the scene of education. You all, we all come out learning something, not only about ourselves, about someone else, and how we can make things better for ourselves, our community, whatever it is that we're involved in. So education is key. Every day we learn something. So why not come out and learn things, especially in this month as we celebrate women in Women's History Month? And even in the Virgin Islands, it's also Virgin Islands History Month. So it's a lot to learn this month, at least for those of us here in the Virgin Islands as well. So,
Yes.
Crystal, I thank you so much for sharing about Women Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry and our, I'm going to call it annual. Anita will have to deal with me afterwards.
Yeah, we're gonna rope her into the annual. Absolutely.
And our second annual International Women's Day, Women of Excellence celebration. And I want each and every person out there, all you ladies, to celebrate your excellence because you are just that. You all are women of excellence. And as we put together our panel for a phenomenal evening on March 19th at 11 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time, we want you to join us to celebrate women that you've never met. And isn't that a wonderful thing to celebrate someone new just because? Come celebrate, come be inspired, come be entertained, informed, educated, empowered, and maybe sign up to be a member of WICCI or the G100, right?
Absolutely.
We're always open to have new sisters. Hey, it's a collective and collaborative effort. So, as you ladies celebrate yourselves in this Women's History Month, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us here on Let's Talk About You. I am so grateful to Crystal for joining us from St. Martin. See, technology, isn't it wonderful? She's sitting in St. Martin. I'm here in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. And we're here celebrating one cause: sisterhood, women of excellence. Thank you so much for joining us here. Have a fabulous rest of the week and stay blessed on purpose. Bye.